This is an excerpt of a recent PowerUp webinar taking a look at text effects inside Apple Final Cut Pro 10. Hi, my name is Larry Jordan. In this excerpt, I'll show you how to format 3D text. So we also have those 3D presets if we want, right there. And those, they can get you started. I mean, who would use this in a video? Minimal 3D? It's unreadable. Or look at Golden, or this just... stupid. Anyway, how do we format? Well, we've already seen that we've got basic. Well, that doesn't change, except I want to pick a font which is a little bit bigger. Let's see. Do we want to work with Eurostyle Black will be good. The rest of this, the size, let's go with 400, too big, 350. You can just type in a number as well as grab the slider. Let's get ourselves some room to work. Okay, this operation here we all know. Under 3D text, the only one of these that I mess with, there's only two, is the depth, how deep the letters are, which is kind of nice. I like making them deeper. If it's going to be 3D, I want people to know it's 3D. I want them to get their money worth. And then the other thing is I changed the front edge. The default is a bevel. See how it sort of bevels. And I like something which is concave or round. I'm going to pick concave. So I've got a more clearly defined edge. Let me just show you here. You can see that there's this edge. That's what concave is creating, is the edge between the side and the front. And no. Come on, get out of control here. And concave. All right. So that's all I do with this. I don't mess with the rest of these. I just mess with the depth, and I mess with 3D text with lighting. A couple things here. We can determine the direction of the lighting. I'm going to pick something diagonal left, so it's coming in from the left side going to the right. Self-shadows means that the letters will cast shadows on each other. So as the light moves from left to right, text on the left will cast a shadow on the right. And I can play with this if I want. I tend not to mess with self-shadows. Well, look at here. Look at the inside of the D. See how we're getting a shadow there? Or we're getting the 3 is casting a shadow here. That's what self-shadows allows us to do, is to get more of that, the dimensionality of the letters from the lighting. Totally up to you. I'm going to turn it off just because it's going to make my life a little bit easier. And we're going to do this dramatic top left. Good. All right. Pick the lighting style that you like. Under environment, this is one that I like a lot because this shows where the light is coming from. Is it coming from a field or a light box or a parking lot? One has to look really, really carefully to see the difference of any of these settings. They're very, very subtle, but colorful I like a lot. Colorful lights my letters with color lights. I can now use these 3D controls and say, set this to an angle, depending upon where our light is coming from. Move this in 3D space. That's kind of cool. I like the colorful because it means I have color lights on my letters without having to do any work. That appeals to me. Then, as we move farther down, the material. This determines what our letters are covered with. Let's change our lighting so we can get more from... Oh, that's kind of nice. Under Basic, we have all these different surfaces that we can apply to our letters, which is fine. And I'm somebody that really likes texture. I don't like just a single color. I like the texture. But what I prefer is changing the material to multiple. What multiple allows me to do is to say, let's pick something that's kind of light. Let's go with here. There we go. Look at the texture there. Then I'm going to add some chrome to my bevel. So I've got now this nice defined edge. And then we'll pick something like, let's pick a leather, because why not? So I'm defining, let's go back to 100%. So I've got this nice clean edge. That's where that curve is. That's a metallic glint. Then I've got the soft leather here. Then I've got the texture. I love, if I'm going to do 3D text, I want to have the 3D text have some character. And the character is going to depend upon the font and the font size, but also the texture that I apply to the letters. Under Substance, we have the ability to change this. We can change what the side texture looks like. We can change how rough it is, from very smooth to very rough. Play with the Substance. This is something that was actually in 10.3 that I never noticed until I was doing my 10.4 training, is the ability to change each one of these settings down here under Substance. Now the glow and the drop shadow still exist. Again, the drop shadow needs to be more offset. Let's go back to fabric, leather. Okay, now I'm going to turn on a drop shadow, but you don't want the drop shadow to be close to the letters now, because that just interferes with the just makes the letters seem less 3D-ish. So here, when you're working with 3D drop shadows, you want to have the shadows be much softer and much more offset. You could not get away with that with a 2D letter, but you can get away with it with a 3D letter. This has been an excerpt of a recent PowerUp webinar taking a look at text effects inside Final Cut Pro 10. For the complete version of this online training, please visit our store at larryjordan.com/store and look for Webinar 245. By the way, membership is a great value when you need to stretch your training dollars. Membership in our video training library saves you money and time. You can access all of our videos for a low monthly price of only $19.99. That's more than 1,900 movies, hundreds of hours, on a wide variety of subjects. Plus, premium members can download practice media and projects. Our training covers Apple and Adobe software. We update it multiple times every month. And for more information, visit larryjordan.com/membership. And thanks.